disabilities. For most people, it's something that completely stops them from doing anything. And let's be honest, nowadays it feels like most young people claim they have some sort of disability when they really don't, just to have a convenient excuse. But I made this video today to make all of you and myself feel bad for not going pro. While people use totally made-up issues to sit on the couch, there are actual athletes who have reached the absolute pinnacle of their sports while navigating major physical or neurological differences. Let's get right into it. Curtis Pride. Pride was a deaf outfielder who played 11 seasons in the MLB between 1993 and 2006 for teams like the Tigers and Braves. He relied entirely on visual cues and reading lips to communicate with coaches and teammates. Now, even though he couldn't hear the ball get hit or hear his teammates call for the ball, he still somehow ended up with a defensive WAR that is 11 points higher than Hall of Famer Vladimir Guerrero. Jim Abbott. Abbott is a famous example of an athlete born without a right hand. He was a pitcher for teams like the California Angels and New York Yankees. He proved he could field effectively by quickly switching his glove from his arm to his left hand, and famously pitched a no-hitter for the Yankees in 1993. Jim Kite. The first and only legally deaf player in NHL history. He played nearly 600 games as a defenseman, keeping his head on a swivel at all times since he couldn't hear the whistle. Shaquem Griffin. Griffin was a linebacker for the Seattle Seahawks from 2018 to 2020. He had his left hand amputated at age 4 due to amniotic band syndrome. He became a sensation after playing alongside his twin brother Shaquille. Shaquem was almost a direct reflection of his brother, but he didn't last super long in the league because, unlike his defensive back brother, he obviously could not catch with a nub. It makes me feel a little sorry for him, but honestly, I can't feel too sorry for him. He still made it to the NFL and recorded the fastest 40-yard dash for a linebacker in Combine history. Mordecai Three Finger Brown, a Hall of Fame pitcher for the Chicago Cubs in the early 1900s. A childhood farm accident cost him parts of 2 fingers on his right hand. This gave him a unique grip that produced a devastating curveball, helping him win 2 World Series titles. Lance Allred. In 2008, Allred joined the Cleveland Cavaliers, becoming the first legally deaf player in NBA history. He has 75 through 80% hearing loss and wore hearing aids during games. He didn't last too long in the league, and let's be real, it's probably because he couldn't hear his teammates warn him about a pick, so the GM most likely shipped him right out of there. William Dummy Hoy, an accomplished deaf baseball player from the late 1800s. He is widely credited as the reason umpires use hand signals for safe, out, and strikes, so he could see calls from the outfield. Gerald Green. Green played 12 seasons in the NBA as a high-flying dunker. You probably know him best for his crazy hops and famously blowing out a cupcake candle on top of the rim during the dunk contest. But did you know he played his entire career with only 9 fingers? He lost his right ring finger in a childhood accident when he was 11 while attempting to dunk on a makeshift hoop. Tom Dempsey. Born without toes on his right foot and without fingers on his right hand. Wearing a custom flat-fronted shoe, he kicked a 63-yard field goal in 1970, a record that stood for 43 years. Tim Howard. Considered the greatest American soccer goalie of all time, Howard played for Manchester United and Everton while managing Tourette's. He experienced a zone effect, where his tics vanished when the ball came near him. He set a World Cup record with 16 saves against Belgium in 2014. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. Born Chris Jackson, he was a star for the Denver Nuggets in the 1990s and is one of the most accurate shooters in NBA history. Abdul-Rauf reached the top of the league while living with Tourette's syndrome. He described his Tourette's as a drive for perfection. If a shot didn't feel exactly right in his hands, his tic would force him to practice it over and over until it was flawless. This perfectionism led him to lead the NBA in free throw percentage twice, once hitting an insane 95.6% of his shots. Rocky Bleier. Drafted by the Steelers, he was wounded by a grenade in Vietnam, losing part of his foot. Doctors said he'd never play again, but he worked his way back to win 4 Super Bowls as a starting running back in the 1970s. Tony Snell. Snell is a 9-year NBA veteran who played for the Bulls, Bucks, and Blazers. He didn't find out he had autism until 2023, at age 31, after his son was diagnosed. Now, Tony is famous in NBA circles for playing a full 28-minute game while recording 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 blocks, and 0 steals. Just out there getting cardio. But to lighten the mood, a major trait of his autism was his quiet demeanor and lifelong obsession with basketball. That famous autistic laser focus literally led to him not missing a single free throw for 2 straight years. Jim Eisenreich, an MLB player forced to retire from the Twins in 1984 due to severe undiagnosed Tourette's. After getting help, he returned in 1987, had a 15-year career, and won a World Series with the Marlins in 1997. Matt Chapman, a current star and elite defensive third baseman for the San Francisco Giants. Living with Tourette's, he has won 4 Gold Glove Awards and went public with his diagnosis to advocate for kids. Oscar Pistorius. Finally, we have to talk about Oscar Pistorius, famously nicknamed the Blade Runner. While most athletes with prosthetics play in the Paralympics, he fought a massive legal battle to run against able-bodied athletes. He made history at the 2012 London Olympics as the first double amputee to compete in the regular games. Now, I always believed he was low-key cheating, because his carbon fiber calf muscles definitely did not burn with lactic acid the same way all the other athletes' natural muscles did. He was beloved, and the primary example of someone moving from disability sports to the big leagues. But then, his career was completely overshadowed by his 2013 arrest and conviction for the murder of his girlfriend, Riva Steenkamp. He shot her on Valentine's Day and reportedly lied, claiming he only shot because he thought she was a burglar, even though witnesses claimed they had been arguing previously. In the end, his sweetheart trailblazer image could not save him from that murder case. Even though I used a lot of humor and jokes in this video, I genuinely made it to encourage all of you. If these people could overcome literal missing limbs, neurological disorders, and lost senses to become elite professional athletes, there is absolutely nothing holding you back from whatever you want to be. Get off the couch and get after it. This is ASED. Like, comment, and subscribe, and have a great day.